Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Aston Martin One-77 in multiplayer. I recently won this car in its Enduro Doubledown rerun, which is in the new Asphalt moments, and throughout the video I will be giving some Enduro Doubledown advice. So my rank is 1688, with a tuning of 0504 and in Pro Kits 5050, so a pretty standard multiplayer tune. Let's see how it performs in multiplayer. So in this race, we are up against 3 Apollo Intensa Emozions, as well as an R8 Special Edition and an M2 Special Edition, all of which start up faster than this car, which does not start up too fast when its acceleration is at 0, however it gets going fairly quickly once it reaches a higher speed. The car has quite nice handling, but drifting leaves something to be desired. If you try to long drift, let's just say it's long drifting, literally. You will see that later in the video. So here we have come into 3rd position. A few of the people in front have had some problems, and we have almost caught up to the R8 Special Edition, which is the car directly ahead of me. Now, for some reason, both he and the Apollo IE directly behind him both took the longer right route back there. I can only assume to get nitro, but from what I've seen and heard, even if you have to wag, it's faster going the left route. So because I took the left route and they didn't, I am still ahead of them. However, since they both have a higher top speed than me, they are catching up quickly, especially the Apollo, who here bumps me, and I managed to somehow knock him down in midair. Not sure how, because he was going faster, but I will take it, and since I am going only about 3 miles per hour slower than the R8 SE, I managed to stay ahead of him, he can't catch up, and we come in 2nd. Losing only to a 1753 Apollo IE, much higher, and beating 2 Apollos, an Audi R8 SE, and an M2 SE. Not a bad showing for a car that is rarely, if ever, seen in multiplayer, because I looked online and I only found a couple other multiplayer videos about this car, and one of them was testing this car at Max Pro. So in this race we are facing 2 McLaren X2s, as well as an Apollo IE and an R8 SE. Now here, the Apollo has some kind of a problem and I knock him down, and the X2 does as well, but then he manages to pass me because he has better acceleration around the corners. I said this a while back in a previous video, but I would like to say it again for those of you who may not have heard it. So, most people think acceleration is only important at the beginning of a race to get ahead of everybody or to knock down faster cars. And while yes, that is definitely its main purpose, I would say, it also has extreme importance in going around turns. Because as you can see, this car does not exactly speed up quickly once it loses speed around the turns. Whereas something like an R8 SE or an Apollo gets up to speed much quicker around the turns, meaning that if you, in a car that accelerates slower, manages to pass one of those cars around the turns, they can still pass you again because they accelerate to their speed faster than you. Back there, somehow, the X2 gets knocked down by being behind me. I can only assume he hit a bus on the right when he tried to pass me. I'm not sure, but I will take it. The car ahead of me right now is the R8 SE, and the one behind me, catching up quite quickly, is the Apollo IE. The Apollo IE at this rank goes almost 20 miles per hour faster than me, which is a pretty good margin. However, since I knocked him down early on, he was not able to catch up, and we lost to a 1695 Max Pro R8 SE, but beat to 1672 X2s as well as a 1706 Apollo. Now for the first of multiple French Guiana races in this video, and I will begin to tell you about some Enduro Doubledown tips and tricks and stuff like that. Now, I made a video a while back specifically about this topic, and so I didn't really feel like making a second video about the exact same topic. However, since multiple people have asked me for Enduro Doubledown tips and tricks and advice and stuff like that, I figured, well, I could just do it in a multiplayer video about an Enduro Doubledown car. Since my multiplayer videos get a good amount of views and it gives me something to talk about during the races, hey, it's a pretty good combination. So I would say the very first thing you need to do before you start an Enduro Doubledown is farm. Like 2 to 3 million minimum if you want to be able to complete it in a timely manner. Because not only do you have to upgrade the boss car a lot to beat the AIs, you also have to upgrade 8 other cars that can be in the different challenges. Even though I had a good few of the cars upgraded already a good bit when I started the Enduro Doubledown, I still spent almost 3 million tuning this car and upgrading other ones. So here I passed the Apollo around the turn, but then he swoops past me because of his better acceleration and barely picks up the 2nd place race finish. See what I said about the acceleration around the turns? Well, you just saw it come into play right there. So once you have farmed up enough money for the Enduro Doubledown, you need to be wise in how you spend it. A lot of it should definitely be spent on the boss car, because you will need to be able to pass the ultimate AI challenges, or the ace racers as they call them in Enduro Doubledowns, or else, well, you're not going to be able to save any points. However, you still need to keep some money around to upgrade at least most of the other cars in the Enduro Doubledown. If you have some ones Max Proter upgraded a lot from before, that's great. You don't need to worry about them. You don't need to upgrade all the other cars to Max Pro or anything like that. They just need to have pretty much close to the maximum speed they can get on a majority of the other cars. Now, those few or maybe multiple ones that you don't have upgraded, try to upgrade the cheaper ones as much as you can for speed, and the more expensive ones, like in this one, the Lucra and the Bentley, try to avoid upgrading them much at all, because they will really suck your money down. Top speed level 5 on the Bentley is 500,000 credits, and it's not even a good car. One good thing to do if you do not have a car upgraded very much, choose it a lot early on in the Enduro Doubledown when its races will be easier, and hopefully they will show up less near the end. Here, this Apollo, again, accelerates past me around the final turn and beats me at the last second. There seems to be a trend of that in this video. Again, I'm trying to stress, acceleration is extremely important around this rank. Now you may be saying, okay, well if acceleration is so important, why didn't you upgrade acceleration on the Aston Martin 177? Thing is, even though acceleration is very important, it is really only worth upgrading acceleration on cars around this rank when their speed is already very good, like cars like the Apollo, whose speeds are amazing at this rank, or the SLK or whatever, stuff like that. Those are the ones that you can upgrade acceleration on without much of a problem. However, something like this car, which already does not go especially fast for its rank, you don't want to kill its speed even more by adding acceleration. In this case, it is better to just upgrade speed a lot. And also, upgrading acceleration in this car does not actually increase its acceleration all that much. So yes, in this car, it just would not be a good idea. And to sum it up, basically only upgrade acceleration in cars that already have extremely good speed for their ranks. So this car behind me is an X2 who wrecked fairly close to the beginning of the race. Thankfully, this was a one-lap race and his speed is not enough to be able to catch up to me before I finish. It's definitely close, but not enough. Now you may be wondering, since this car has such bad acceleration, why didn't I choose 2 laps instead of 1 lap? Because I chose 1 lap every single race I played in this car. The reason is, if I chose 2 laps, it would only give cars that made mistakes more chance to pass me. Whereas if I choose 1 lap, if a car like X2 or Apollo or something makes a mistake or I knock him down, he will have less time and less chance to be able to catch up and pass me. And you've seen that happen many times in this video already. Now, this is one of the few 2-lap races that I actually played in this car. The 3 vehicles ahead of me are 3 Apollo IEs, who did not actually get as far ahead as I assumed they would. Even though 20 miles per hour is a big difference, it's not like they just go off the map or anything. Even though the left route is faster on the Mirage in the majority of cars, it is better to take the right route if your car does not drift very well nor accelerate very quickly. And that is basically this car. The reason is, if you were to take that route over to the left, there are many sharper turns that you would have to go around and lose a bunch of speed, and since it doesn't drift well, you might hit the side and lose even more speed because of that. Yeah, it's just better to take the slightly longer route and not worry about pretty much any of that. I believe this car behind me wrecked somewhere on that left route, and now he wrecks again. I'm not exactly sure what on, but it turns out that he was not able to catch up throughout the entire lap, and he left near the end of the race. I don't know what happened to him. He was very far back there. But yeah, we beat a 1700 Apollo. Alright, time for more Enduro Doubledown tips. So, what I usually like to do in Enduro Doubledowns is risk points all the way up to around the middle of the Enduro Doubledown, upgrading the cars enough so that I can compete there, and then saving halfway through. That usually gives you approximately 1/4 to 1/5 of the points needed to win the car. And then I continue after that as far as I can while saving points. This way I was able to save 21,000 points on each ticket. I risked points until the middle, got 13,000 for that, and I saved at the next 2 AIs I think it was and got another 8,000, so that makes 21,000. I did that in 3 tickets over 2 days, and I was able to win the car. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is that when you get over certain point amounts, I think it's like 17,000 and 35,000, the AIs get harder, as in later ones move to earlier challenges, so that you face harder challenges earlier. This is the disadvantage of doing it in multiple tickets. However, if you want to do it all in one ticket, you have to make it all the way to the end, always risking and only save at the very end. And to do that, you need to have extremely upgraded all your cars, which is going to be extremely expensive. So if you don't want to farm like 5 or 6 million credits, it probably will still be better for you just to risk points until about halfway, then save, see how far you can go. When you fail, just go back to the beginning, risk points up to the middle again, upgrade if you need to, save, and just keep doing that until you win the car. I mean, you get 7 days or something to complete the Enduro Doubledown, so even if you got 13,000 a day, you'd still be able to complete it in just 4 or 5 days. The reason I completed this Enduro Doubledown so quickly in just 2 days was so that I could have a break of 1 day and then start the Fenner Super Sports R&D, which lasts 15 days, and I have 15 days left in the Asphalt Moments. I am not even going to be trying to win the BXR Bailey in its Enduro Doubledown, because it is, frankly, a pretty bad car, and its Enduro Doubledown is very costly and difficult, and I have 5 out of 8 blueprints for it, so yeah, I'm just gonna save up more blueprints for it and get it that way, without spending anything on it. Another piece of advice I have for completing Enduro Doubledowns is to have a pretty good stash of tokens saved up, because you don't want to lose a streak of 20,000 or something points because of a dumb mistake, when you can use a few hundred tokens to stay on track, or try again, or whatever. Rerolling is also a good use of tokens. It's only 25, and you can avoid playing in some cars that way. So here we beat the 1689 Emozione. And at this point you may be thinking, will the Aston Martin 177 ever come in first in a multiplayer race? Yes, in fact it will, in this very race here. Now that may seem fairly obvious at the start because I was facing a bunch of noob cars like MP48 and Sesto Elemento and stuff like that, but it happened just perfectly that the Sesto Elemento goes up and lands on top of me and knocks me down. Have you ever seen anything timed so perfectly annoyingly? Now we have a bit more of a challenge, forced to go the long way, and in 5th position, do we have enough speed to catch up to first on 2 laps? Well, I already told you that I got first in this race, so, yeah, but the question is, how do I manage to do it? Those 2 cars are off the map up there. Well, the thing is, remember, these are fairly noob cars, and thus they have low speeds for their rank. See, that's the thing about this 177. While its speed is much lower than the overpowered cars, its speed is also much higher than these noob cars. Faster than the Sesto Elemento by 15, 20 miles per hour, faster than the MP48 by 15, 20 miles per hour also. So yes, even a car such as this one, which you may not think of as being good in multiplayer, if you are in a lower league, it could still do quite well for you, especially if you are in, say, Challenger or Pro League, low Pro League maybe, where a lot more of the people you face are going to be these more noob cars that you can beat because you are quite a lot faster than them. As you can see here, I am catching up quite quickly to the MP48, just now passing the LaFerrari, and because I am 15-20 miles per hour faster in the MP48, it shouldn't be long before I pass him as well. And since he takes the longer route down on the bottom and I take the faster route around, he jumps up and I pass him. So in conclusion, this car is not really a bad car at all. It is really one of the top A-class cars, not for events, but rank-wise, and it's maybe like number 7 or something in terms of how good it really is. If you do decide to multiplayer tune it, either just to test it out if you're in higher leagues, or to actually use it in multiplayer if you are in lower leagues and probably gain some points out of it, this is a good tuning and rank to go to. Good luck to everyone in its Enduro Doubledown. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 videos, and I will see you later. Goodbye!